Okay. Good afternoon to all who are here and to those who are watching this recording in the future. It is Thursday. It is September 4th, correct? And you know what's so special about today, September 4th, 2025? Quick guess. What starts today, people?
You
First
yeah.
Thursday of the month.
It'll be this evening, it'll be on TV.
No.
What's the first thing we see, Rich? Is it not? There's an NFL game.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
today?
baby. The season
I thought it was
starts with the
today.
Cowboys and the Eagles.
Oh,
All right. Well, first of all, uh, thanks for y'all who showed up here. Last week, I made a statement that there's this thing that we all hear called the Big Beautiful Bill, and got passed. And there's a lot of stuff in that Big Beautiful Bill, and there's a lot of stuff in relation to commercial real estate, believe it or not, or in relation to a lot of things. And I was thinking, as I can figure out different pieces of the pie that were involved in there, if I could find speakers. Hi, Lisa. And and then I would love for them to come on and tell us about that piece of the big beautiful bill that has changed what they do and what we need to know as well. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's all in that big beautiful bill. So if any of you guys want to reach out to me outside of this meeting and say, "Hey, Keith, here's a topic that got changed as well," you might want to go find a speaker for that. That's okay. That'd be great if you could do that. Or if you could help me find a speaker because you know about something in the big beautiful bill that the rest of us don't. Okay. So that's on you too. Okay. It's all of us together. Today, before Angie gets started, does anybody have anything here you need us to know because you're going to be heading out early? You want us to get it on recorded? You want to tell us about it or ask us questions where we can answer your questions real quick or what?
Hey
Everybody
Keith,
good
can
that's
I make a
here?
quick comment?
Paul, go ahead,
Yeah.
Paul.
Regarding your big beautiful
Today,
bill? I
I
just
got
got a
ground chicken meat that I'm
Let me mute
making meatballs.
Max. There we go.
I just got a call today from Dr. Bart Bossi, who will be one of the speakers at our Nashville event on the 19th of September. Dr. Bossi is a attorney, a CPA, and he's probably getting up there around 70 something, 80 years old. But anyhow, he's a foremost expert on tax strategies. And as we talked today, he was talking about what he would like to bring to our attention. He's going to specifically cover 4 or 5 main parts of the big beautiful bill that pertain to commercial real estate investment, depreciation, etc. And so he's going to cover that in detail. And I've seen him speak at least twice. He's entertaining. He's not dry. He's informational. I mean, he's worth the price of admission just for him. So I would highly recommend if anybody wants to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. You know, the IRS has sent him their own agents for training because they trust him more than they trust themselves. He knows the law so well.
That's
All right,
fantastic,
that's it.
Paul. Thank you. And let me just tell you that on the Commercial Connect call today, Paul, both Sean and John said you've got to go to the Nashville event hosted by
I heard.
Paul.
I was there. I heard it.
All
I watched the
right,
whole
good
meeting.
deal.
I was
All
one of the
right.
people in the meeting. I thanked Sean already.
So I guess you're now the single host of that event, right? I don't have to
No,
do
I didn't say anything. I just
no, that was a favor for you, Keith. That's like when I say if you got anything you'd like to say that's great about EXP commercial, be sure to give me a call. And if you got complaints, be sure to call John.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
right. So Keith, you and I are the co-host. If we go in the hole financially, you are the co-host.
Oh, is that what I hear? Oh, okay. All right. So, anything else, anybody? Okay, that was a long enough pause. All right. So what we have today, folks, Angie Sweatman, I met her probably 2 weeks ago at a big, huge commercial event here in Birmingham. I met her and another lady she works with the Bank Corp Bank. I guess they just call themselves the Bank Corp. And she is based here in the Birmingham area, and the other lady's over in Raleigh, North Carolina, I believe. And they're in the SBA's part of the banking world. And I asked the question, did the big beautiful bill generate any changes in the SBA world. And Tom Crumpton, jump in if you need to during her presentation. If you want to add anything or ask questions, feel free to. But I gave her about 15 minutes. She's actually got a presentation that we'll see as well. And I have that and I'll send that out to all of our people that I send these recordings out to, and I'll post it on my Slack channel as well. So we're going to let Angie introduce herself, and feel free to, if she says something and you didn't understand what she said, or if she said something that just triggered something major in your head, you got to ask the question at that moment, feel free to. That's the kind of format we have here. So Angie, it's all about you. You're on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to share a presentation real quick. Thank you. Where did it go? There it is. Is that it? There we go. Can you guys see it?
Not yet.
Let's see.
It's coming.
There we go.
As you started it.
Yep.
You see it? You got it.
Got it.
All the names are in my way. Hang on, I gotta move everybody. Whoop. I gotta move
Okay.
all the people. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I've actually been in SBA lending for over 25 years. I shouldn't have put the presentation up yet because I'm talking, right? My strong suit is commercial real estate. So I have been working with the SBA 504 loan program for my entire career. As of December of 23, I changed and I left the certified development company world that does the SBA 504 loans, and I came to the bank. So now I'm actually doing, business acquisition, leasehold improvements. I guess the most that apply to y'all is if they're, either buying a building or they're renting and needed to do leasehold improvements, which I do both of those loan programs here. So those types of proceeds I can definitely do. I've been in Alabama pretty much my entire career. I've not lived here my entire life, but I've been here my entire career. And when I joined the bank, it was a fun thing to be able to come in and do the leasehold side as well as business building, ground up construction and building acquisition. So what I wanted to do is just kind of lead into a little bit. I was going to go into a couple of things about really super quick on the state of small business financing. This is just giving you a little bit of an idea of, this is like a Forbes advertiser survey that was taken in 2023 of what are the reasons that businesses are applying for loans. And these are showing you a list of exactly what that survey came up with in 2023, with the largest request being business expansion. And you can see a couple of down is the CRE purchases or remodeling. So this is just kind of giving you an idea of all the things that we see out there. And in 2023, this is a survey of what they came up with while they were applying. And how this applies to this is like, why are people seeking small business loans and trying to go through the SBA programs? So one of the things that we found in the SBA loan programs, we have had some changes, by the way. I guess I should back up and address that really super quick. So as part of probably the big beautiful bill, as we were talking about earlier, we actually had the elimination of some things and the addition of some things that used to be in the programs. We had the elimination of the underwriting on the loans is like, they used to call it do what you do. And that was basically telling banks, here's our guidelines, our parameters, but do things how you do them, document them how you do them. However, this year they made a reg change and the SBA says, okay, we're putting all of our underwriting standards back into play. And so you banks out there that were doing as you do, you're not doing that anymore. So that's one of the big things that came into play is the underwriting standards changed. They also added back the SBA 7A fees. The loans that were like up to $1 million, they'd eliminated the fees in that, but they added that back in this year. They changed our SOP, our operating procedure manual, now requiring 10% injection on startup loans, where Previously, banks were not always doing that. The big thing that might apply to y'all is we have to be careful on, um, they made a description of ineligible business models, and they added in their shopping centers and shared suites, salon suites and ghost kitchens. But however, they said unless their very specific revenue conditions are met, that those are ineligible types of businesses. But there's always the unless something, if you've got different revenue conditions that are being met, then it could possibly work.
Angie,
Yes,
I
sir.
sorry to interrupt you. And Tom, okay, what exactly did you just say? You say that they're ineligible for funding, but what is it that's ineligible?
Yeah.
What's
So
so
what
significant about shared whatever you said, salons or whatever,
So shared office suites are ineligible. There's certain revenue conditions that could be met. Like in the past, when we've looked at like the shared office suites, if you had like say you were like you opened up a company and you said, okay, we're going to have all of these open for businesses to rent from us. You needed to have like a source of revenue that was coming in from just the rental. So let's say that as part of the rental, that they're getting services provided by, you've got like a receptionist up there that's answering calls for them. You've got maybe they're getting mail there. There's just like maybe you've got, okay, as part of your monthly rent, you get access to our printer. I mean, you have to have
Oh, okay.
additional services
So it's
included
it's
in it.
somebody like me who might want to go in and use those facilities once in a while, as opposed to me owning the building that has these facilities. You're saying me as the person that uses it once in a while, I can't go get that loan now, is what you're saying.
Well, there's ways there. So if you meet the specific revenue conditions, like you've got other sources of revenue other than just rental. So SBA is not into passive income. So like if you have to be owner occupied, period. But
Okay.
it's weird because there's things that we do that are not owner occupied. Like think about an assisted living. It is not owner occupied. A hotel is not owner occupied. You've got people renting, but and you've got things like a storage facility, like those are not owner occupied. So it gets down to some of the little details and what services do you offer and what other streams of revenue, or they've made exceptions and they allow it to be done. So like we can do storage facilities. They're not owner occupied at all, but they just kind of changed the language in the salon suites and the shopping centers and the ghost kitchens to where these certain types of businesses, you've got to meet certain conditions to be able to qualify. And I'll get you more on that if you want that. I can get some more details on it. Is that okay? Yes, okay. Okay, the other couple of things they changed, I'm just gonna go through those super quick. One other thing they changed was stricter citizenship, obviously, with everything going on, and ownership verification in March of this year. SBA changed that and requires us to go through a little bit more of hoops to get there, and on those types of businesses. So that's just a quick overview of the parts that might have been changes for in the big beautiful bill, of course. So in this slide, I was just going to talk a little bit about, when people are looking for SBA loans, um, I don't know if people are actually looking for SBA loans. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're hoping to stay away from them. But they've tried to streamline the process and make things a little more simplified. So now we're looking at, most of the time we're looking at some competitive rates. Like for our bank in particular, we are much more competitive because we don't sell our loans in the secondary market. So our interest rates on our loans are lower than a lot of national lenders that you run into. Sometimes when it comes to local banks, I might be around the same, or I might be better, or I might be better, or I might be a little lower. It just depends, but we are definitely going to be more competitive in our rates with most of the national lenders. So just because we retain our loans. And then I wanted to go into the benefits of the SBA. So you guys are familiar, I'm not sure if you're all familiar with it, but there's basically two loan programs. There's a 504, I think I skipped a page. Let me get back. No, it didn't either. There's the SBA 504 loan and the SBA 7A loan program. Those are the two flagship programs. The 7A loan program it starts at 350, goes up to 5 million. And we can do anything under that loan program, pretty much anything, period. I mean, we can do business acquisitions. You can actually do commercial real estate. You can do ground up construction. You can do working capital, inventory, equipment financing, debt refinancing, all of that goes into there. If real estate is not tied to the deal, which you guys probably, I don't know how much you see as leasehold versus real purchase or acquisition of real estate. But anything that's not acquisition of real estate, most of the time we do for up to 10 years. So if it's leasehold improvements, those usually fall into the 10-year terms. And then anything with real estate, we can go up to 25. We actually have a 30-year amortization that we can do as well that we can pull in when we're doing 504 loans. The 7A loans are not collateral dependent. We can do down payments of 10%, 20%, 0% sometimes. Sometimes we can do 100% financing on these, on the 7A loan program. So this is, you guys might run into this on leaseholds, but really probably, if you're doing more, if y'all are doing selling of commercial real estate, then you're just going to fall into the 504, which is the next slide. The 504 is built for nothing but commercial real estate, acquisition, construction, renovation. You can't finance anything else in there except for fixed assets, land building, and equipment. That's it. You can't put franchise fees, goodwill, working capital. It won't do any of that in there. So sometimes what we have to do is partner the two loan programs together, where we're doing a 504 and then a smaller 7A companion loan, which we've done that. We've done that in the past, as to help people get the working capital they needed, as well as getting in the building they're trying to get into. On the 504, it's a partnership with the bank as well as the certified development company. Is everybody on this call from Alabama, or we have people from different places?
In San
No,
Diego.
this is everywhere.
Okay, everywhere, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, cool. So within the states, each state has, at least a handful of certified development companies. I happened to previously work for one that worked in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. We would do all three states, but each state has certified development companies. They are licensed and audited by the U.S. Small Business Administration. But we work in conjunction with them to get the 504 loan program done. So it ends up being, let me see if I left the next slide. Yeah. So the way they work, the 504 loans, is typically the bank, as me, we would do 50% of the loan. The certified development company would do 45% of the loan, and then the client typically injects 10% into the project. So you got three sources that come together to make the 504 loan program work. The benefit on this program is it does have a long-term fixed rate. I believe they have a 25-year, a 20, and a 10-year fixed rate, depending on what the client needs. So what happens is, instead of getting like a prime plus of whatever from just the bank, you get the certified development SBA side, which is, I think their rates are right now at like 6.23 is where they are. So the client will end up getting a lower blended rate between the two of us. Okay, so this is just doing a little summary of owner-occupied commercial real estate, of the two, like a side-by-side comparison of the two loan programs, so you can see like what are the financing terms, how much can we do, and you'll see like the difference. And you can, he's going to send this out, so if you have any questions on this later, just let me know. The 7A loan program typically has no balloon or call provisions, and there's no balloon or call provisions on the second mortgage on the 504. So where it says 3-year prepayment penalty on the 7A loan, that's not on the loan, the 10-year loans. That's on any loan that is above 10 years. So 15-year, 25-year loans, those are the ones that have a prepayment penalty. Okay, so that should do the side by side. Okay. Things that we're looking for. I think this is an important slide because I think a lot of times people are like, well, who's looking for SBA loans? Who qualifies for them? When you come to a bank and we're looking at the project, we're looking for, demonstrated historical or projected cash flow. Typically, we're looking at our bank in particular is looking at 1.15 coverage ratios. Sometimes if it's a business expansion, we can look at like lower, like we can go down to 0.6 for a business expansion. We're looking for direct transferable industry experience as well as management experience. I know when I was in Birmingham a couple weeks ago, Keith and I were talking about this with some other people, and sometimes when you've got we had a deal where we were talking about where you've got a younger person trying to come in and buy a business, but he's been in the management side of it for a while, for just a little bit of time. But you get the management experience, the industry experience; those really help us move things along faster. Um, and also, we're looking for acceptable personal and business credit scores. Our minimum credit score is 660. And we can actually look at an average of, if there's more than one owner, we can look at an average of the two of them. The next thing that's super important is if they're injecting money into the project, they also have post-transaction liquidity, meaning that once they inject the money, they still have some other cash available. In the event their business needed some cash injection, they had it either personally or outside of the business. We look at guarantees that didn't change. We still look at owners with a 20% or more ownership guaranteeing the loan. And all commercial property must be owner occupied. What that means is an existing building, the business borrower needs to occupy 51%. Ground up construction is a little different. Their rules I don't know why they should be the same, but on a ground up construction, the borrower has to initially occupy 60%, but then within 10 years, they're supposed to be 80%. So they're trying to keep things away from passive income. So I guess if somebody's going to do a ground up construction, as long as you're not leasing out more than 20% permanently, you should be okay.
Hey, Angie, so we're going to run out of time here on this
Yeah.
segment.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to cover something real quick, that'd be great.
Yep. I'll just show you guys a quick case study. Let me see. Let me find a real estate one. Hang on.
Anybody got any questions or thoughts?
I mean, this is a commercial real estate one. We were looking at we were doing a startup car wash facility. That's a real easy one. And you guys can look over these case studies. That's the main reason we provided these in here, is to kind of give you an idea of what kind of things we look at. So these case studies are really kind of interesting to go back and look through. But yeah, we can do all of these kinds of things.
So just to summarize real quick, then the main changes affect both your bank as far as following underwriting procedures now, and some categories of not being able or having different. Why don't you say it back to me so I know?
Yeah, hang on a second. So the citizenship, verification of citizenship was a big one. And then they deemed some businesses as additional ineligible business models.
Wow.
So those were a couple of the main things. And then let's see, what was the other thing I said? Equity injection is now required for startup loans, where that wasn't always required.
Really?
Quick question.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So when you say the U.S. citizenship, so green card, it will not count, right? It has to be.
Yeah. So if you're a legal permanent resident, so previously what they had was the rules were, if it was, I think the rules were set up as if you were more than 50% or more U.S. citizenship or legal permanent resident, then you were eligible.
Right.
Now I think it has to be 100%.
Okay,
Lauren,
thanks.
Lauren, put
So
something in the
I'll
chat.
just comment it. You don't have to be in the US 100%, but you do have to have a green card or citizenship. You can't be a foreign national, unfortunately. Otherwise,
Right.
believe me, it would be a game changer. But yeah, you can't be a
Right.
foreign national. You have to have, and you can't be on a E2. Like that was a whole big thing during COVID. A lot of E2 visa holders, non-immigrant visa holders, accessed various types of funding, and it was a problem.
Mhm.
And then
Right.
they create what's called a public charge, and it's a whole nightmare. So now
Yeah.
there's just absolutely no doubt. The answer is no.
Nope. Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
So Angie, Lauren is an international guru and an attorney when it comes to investors investing in the U.S.
Guru. That's okay. I guess I'm a guru. Thank you. At
Yeah.
my age, I have another birthday on Tuesday. So at my age, I would take that. Thank you so much, Keith.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that.
Any other questions for this young lady named Angie?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Tom.
On the example you've got on the screen with 20% down, can that be 10% buyer down payment and 10% seller note?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to clarify that. The buyer doesn't have
Good
to have
question.
20%. Okay.
Good question. Yeah, so previously, I don't know if they necessarily had a limit on how much could be a seller note. The seller note does have to stay on full standby now, but now they're saying that no more than 50% of the required injection can come from seller funds, seller note.
All right. And you want to explain to everybody else what standby means? The last time I looked, it was 24 months. And
Yep, that means
then
the
it
life
doesn't
of,
come into the ratio that you said 1.06, 1.15. It doesn't come into that calculation. It's like they just ignore it.
yeah. So now what it means is it has to stay on full standby for the life of the loan. So if I'm doing a 10-year loan, that 10% that's being contributed as part of the equity injection has to stay on full standby for the life of the loan. So if I'm doing a 10-year, it'll need to stay on standby for 10 years. And thank you.
It's in the big, beautiful bill.
Great question, Tom. That was a good one.
Well, because you always have the seller, the first thing out of their mouth is, I want cash. Well, okay, you're not going to get cash. So here's the deal. I can get you 10% more. I can get you 10% more for your business than what the value will say, but you're going to collect that 10% down the road a bit.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Anything else for Angie?
You got some good questions.
Yeah.
I hate that I spent so much time on the front end because we could have gotten through all of these, but this is a good one to have landed on.
Okay. Well, Angie, I thank you for coming. You can keep this and you can join us. This commercial crowd's for anybody and everybody involved with commercial real estate. It's not a limited thing to EXP commercial or whatever. It's just it's open to anybody. So
Well,
feel
great.
free to
Well,
invite friends.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right, all right.
I gotta
So
figure
you
out.
can
I
stop
actually have
sharing
a
if you like.
question, if
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
this automatic car wash, which is a little higher than most of my foreign nationals would want to spend. Do you have other samples of this type of business? Like that's, I mean, this is a really probably hugely profitable business, but the price point is a little high. Do you have other examples of businesses around more like the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 that you funded? And I understood that they aren't going to get SBA funding until they have status and a green card, obviously.
yeah. So let's see. Where is am I unsharing now? Let me see where it is. Oh, is it? There it is.
You're still
There we are.
sharing. The next example was more in the $600,000 range.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Hi, Sean.
There you go.
Hello.
Yeah. So here's a case study with a fitness franchise
Oh, yeah.
where you had partners with extensive experience, and they used the 7A loan to fund the startup of their 7th fitness location. So this is it'll break out the tenant improvements we did, the FF&E. We included working capital, and then it had a guarantee fee. And then we throw in the closing costs and then the attorney fee. And then anytime we have tenant improvements, we tack on a construction monitoring fee. It's about 1.5% of the tenant improvement cost, so the construction cost. And then we throw it all in there. And then on this one, because they were expanding, they didn't have to put any injection in. So I like the way that they put this together where it's got the barriers of, the barriers to solutions and the approval consideration. So we see that they had strong management, they had solid post-transaction liquidity, a strong franchise concept. The projections and demographics supported the business plan they provided, and it was same industry expansion. But yeah, this is a good one. I mean, there's
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry.
On this one, since this is it's their seventh location, but it's a new location. So as of closing date, there's no money, right? There's no income. So are you using the money from the other six to qualify this, or some projections of what this is expected to do?
Yeah, so it's projection based, and I'm just this one was not my deal. However, it could have been that one of the other, I don't know if they put this I don't know if they put this under a different entity name, and then they might have taken a corporate guarantor of one of their other fitness franchises. Sometimes that'll happen on a startup, is we'll just take the guarantee of the other entity that's operating another fitness location. But it was based on projections. We also look at global cash flow too. We'll look at especially if it's an affiliate business where it's in the same NAICS code. We'll look at, what does the global look like? What does it look like? What other outside income do they have? How does it look on a global as well as on its own? But SBA relies on the business standing on its own.
All right, just to be selfish for you, Angie.
Yes.
What is the footprint for Bank Corp? Will you deal with everybody in the US, or do you?
Yeah, we're nationwide. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm working on loans in California, Texas,
Okay.
Tennessee, New Jersey, New York, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana. Yep, everywhere. We
Are
go
you
everywhere.
sharing? I'm sorry. Are you sharing the presentation with us?
Yes.
I have it, Luis. I'll just send it out when I do the recording thing, when I send
Yes,
out the
sir.
recording. Yeah,
Thank you.
I have the presentation. Yes.
I'll jump in here and say back in March, we closed a business sale and Bancorp did the financing, did a great job. I mean, I didn't meet anybody, which is one of those first ones I've never, just everything was online. Never met the banker, never talked to the banker other than online and emails. Their attorney knew what they were doing. Our attorney had handled SBA financing deals before, and that's a big deal. If you're doing an SBA loan, you want to have a closing attorney on your side that has done SBA deals before. But no, I just wanted, so I've had one experience with them in the last 6 months, and they were great.
Great. Who'd you work with over here?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember who you worked with?
No,
Okay.
but I can email it to you later. I think they were here in Georgia.
Do you have your slide with your info?
What? I'm sorry.
Angie.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got my. Oh,
There you
yep,
go. There you go, everybody.
Yep,
Look
there
at
it
that.
is.
Well, just leave that up for a moment or two. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much, Angie, for speaking on this.
Yes,
If there,
absolutely.
yeah, if there's no more questions, you guys can take a picture of this or whatever, or write it down real quick. But no more questions. She could pull her stop sharing there if she'd like. And I want to go around the horn. Paul, since we got something coming up pretty quick. And by the way, I am taking these, Paul, to Charlotte with me to the Charlotte build. I'll be there next week, getting there on the 9th. And it happens at 10th and 11th, and I'll be driving back. So I'll try to get some more people there to sign up for your Nashville
Howard.
or our Nashville thing. How's that sound? Yes, sorry.
Even he believes it now.
I believe it's all about Paul, baby.
Remember,
But
it's
did you
not
want to
who
say
knows
anything about
you, right?
Go ahead, Paul.
So remember, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, what about the 19th?
The 19th, Nashville, Tennessee, all day long. We're having our Commercial Real Estate Mastermind Summit, and it will start at 8:30 a.m. with a light breakfast and networking. We'll have 8 speakers throughout the day speaking on everything from tax strategies to 1031 exchanges and retail out parcels and much more. Sean Murphy and John Letourneau will be there, and Tom Truong. They'll be talking about growing your business globally. We'll have intervals every hour so that people can check their phones, emails, and network with the crowd. We've got a beautiful $8 million facility we're doing it at called the Greatness Factory, owned by Coach Michael Burt. And he's got a 36 LCD screen with 100 seats in a theater. It's going to be very posh and up to snuff for EXP commercial. So come to Nashville and enjoy. And the night before, we have a networking event for free with some drinks and hors d'oeuvres and snacks. If you buy a ticket, we'll put you in touch with that information as well.
All right. Anybody else got any announcements you want to bring up? Listen, let me just tell you, I think everybody here other than Angie is tied in with EXP one way or another. Most of us commercial. I think we're all commercial here. I think, yeah. Okay. Listen, the EXP con in Miami Beach, if you can't make it, and I'm talking to the recordings, but if you cannot be there, you have got to let me know, or you need to let Lindy or Sean know immediately. Because if you've got somebody fantastic you want to go to EXPCon, but you cannot be there, we'll take care of them. Believe me, you get all the credit, but we will make sure they understand this huge world of EXP, and we'll bring them in on an Explorer Pass. Because some of us may not have a guest for an Explorer Pass, so it works out great. So let us know in advance if you've got somebody. Go ahead, Sean. What?
No, that's the truth. There are influencers that are begging for Explorer passes.
Okay.
They'll be, if you have somebody, just partner with that influencer. If you have somebody you can't close, let them close them. But Keith's absolutely right. If you're not going, great. But if you're going, bring somebody. Another key thing, EXP commercial convention is not an additional fee. It's just the 20th, the day of the 20th. And on top of that, top of not costing anything, we already have 300 people that have signed up for commercial convention.
That's excellent. Yay.
I know. Well, Glenn said his first convention was like 20 guys in a hotel lobby, so yeah, and now I don't know if that he said Brett's first mastermind was in his hotel room. So
Wow.
yeah, you definitely make it to this one so you can say I was number one, and Keith can stop being number one on something. So
Yeah. Hey, you're going to Rich, I'll get to you in a second. Are you going to unofficially celebrate 5 years, or are you going to wait till November?
I'm going to unofficially celebrate 5 years. They were.
I mean, we had a president 5 years ago. We just didn't have any of us till November.
Right. Yeah, we had a president 5 years ago. We roll EXP Con, ComCon straight into the opening party.
Right.
We do our we do our main stage and then our breakout sessions, and it ends when the alcohol comes out. So we've got that going on there, but there's, wherever there's a Keith, there's somebody planning something different. We did not get a party. We tried to get a party host, but I think Crexy and stuff, who sponsored last year, they're probably saying that we're not going to get that business if they're that in deep with CoStar. So
Yeah. Okay. All right, Rich, what's up, brother?
Hey, I know he's not here to take questions, but since we are graced by the great Sean Murphy, Sean, can I ask you a tech stack question really quick?
sure.
Build Out bought Prospect Now, correct?
I think so.
Do we have access to Prospect Now via Build Out as part of the tech stack?
No, it's an additional that their prospecting platform and their heavy duty CRM with all the drip campaigns is an additional. We get Showcase and we get their CRM Lite, so you can communicate with your clients, but there's a couple of things that they're doing add-ons, and they're going to change it all by the end of the year because they got to integrate AI with all of it.
I'm paying a couple $100 a month extra, and the the AI tool is really good as far as like getting more information on property owners.
Dana, is that on using Prospect Now? Are you talking about
Yes, through build out. Yeah.
through build out? Okay, so Sean, sorry,
Build
I'm on Prospect Now.
Prospect Now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it individually as just a regular Prospect Now account. So if I go through EXP, Sean, can I do that and then have access to that? Or is that
EXP, you're going to get build out, Showcase and a CRM. I can talk to Taylor and Helen at build out and see what we can integrate with it. You know, they'll throw some freebies in. But yeah, it does not come with
or
prospect.
even a discount off the regular? I don't even know what I'm paying. I think I'm paying $250 a month or something like that. So
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
thanks.
Great question. Dana, thanks for coming on today, man. You've been missed.
You know, school's back in session. What can I say?
Ah,
That's
okay.
our time. Yeah. Franklin turns 11 in a couple weeks, so keeps me
All right.
busy in the summer.
If you got nothing else for the recording, I'm going to turn the recording off. This is what I do every time. So I'd like to thank all of you who watched the recording today. Come back next week. Next week, I should have another speaker and a totally different topic for the big, beautiful bill. I'm not going to tell you what it is. So it's going to be a fella if he agrees to be on here. So, all right. So let me turn off the recording.